Alright, so we have Dustin Jacoby versus Darren Stewart. So Dustin Jacoby has a 3-inch height advantage and a 4-inch reach advantage. So Darren Stewart, he's light in his feet. He's usually throwing singular strikes, trying to keep his feet moving, stick and move kinda. Nice stiff jab, throws the straight right and then gets back out on his bike. Low calf kicks as well. He'll attack low calf kicks. But when he does get in close, he just kind of closes his eyes and swings wild at times, if you really put the pressure on him. Yeah, so I do think Jacoby is the much more refined striker, obviously coming from that kickboxing background. He has a nice all-round kicking game. He's frequently switching his stance, looking for opportunities to land body kicks. If the opponent's in like a mirrored stance, then yeah, body kicks, high kicks. If the opponent's in a duplicate stance, then he'll look for the low calf kick. And that's one of his main weapons, is the jab and the low calf kick. That's what he's going to be attacking with mostly. While he is throwing those, he does have his hands low and his head can stay on the center line quite a bit when he is throwing these techniques. So it is dangerous when you're throwing naked, like low calf kicks or naked body kicks against the southpaw when you have your hands low. Hasn't burned him too much in his career. I don't think he's been knocked out in the feet, but it's just something to watch out for. Breaking down the grappling of these two, so both these guys quite hard to hold down. I'd probably say Jacoby is harder to hold down. Jacoby will give his back in the clinch, so that's just a defensive tendency that I've noticed from him. Pretty much how he lost the Chikadze fight. Well, didn't lose, but it's how that fight was ended up as a draw, because he kept giving his back to Chikadze. Chikadze kept mat returning him from the wrestling rider position, and he ended up getting 10-8'd in the first round, so that's just how he lost the fight, basically. How these guys win fights, so for Jacoby, he's got good leg kicks, and for Darren Stewart, he's durable. How these guys lose fights, so Darren Stewart, he's low volume. And I wouldn't say Jacoby's the most urgent guy either, but he's just a little bit more active than Darren Stewart. Path to victory for these two, so for Darren Stewart, watch out for the leg kicks, try and slide your lead leg out of the way, and then get back on your bike. Just don't be a still target in front of him, basically. Look for combinations, even 1-2s, even 2-3s, 3-2s, just basic combinations, but just don't want to go strike for strike. It's just, he's got a better jab than you, in my opinion. He's longer, he's got better leg kicks than you, and basically that's your two weapons. Honestly, both these guys, their styles are very similar, but I think Jacoby is just a bit better at enforcing that style. And I think you should chain your combinations together a little bit more, just to kind of differentiate yourself from Jacoby. Because I do think if you go jab for jab, you're going to come off second best. Also look to hold him against the cage, just control him against the fence, look to take the back body lock in the clinch. For Jacoby, look to flick the jab out, put volume on it, just try and outwork him. Look for the 1-2 after, or the counter 2, after Darren Stewart pops the jab out, because Darren Stewart will drop his lead hand after he does pop the jab. Also look for leg kicks to slow the movement of Stewart. That's one of his main weapons, is the footwork, so take that away from him. When you're in southpaw and he's in orthodox, look for the body kicks. Try and make him slow down there. If he's going to be like reaching for the clinch every time you get close, look for a flying knee. Because I do believe if you even get taken down, you'll be able to get back to your feet. Even if he does knock you off balance or something like that when you are throwing the flying knee. But I actually don't hate the flying knee in this spot, because Stewart does telegraph his intentions to clinch up, and he does do it quite predictably when the opponents are pressuring him quite heavily. How I see the fight going? So distance striker versus distance striker, and then that's where I'm expecting the fight to play out, at distance. I think Stewart likes to typically fight behind a stiff jab or a naked straight right. But Jacoby is very comfortable at defending singular strikes, like avoiding singular strikes by utilizing head movement. Like, he's very good at that. Usually when you see him getting tagged, it's because opponents are putting together combinations and catching him with the second and third punch. But if they go jab for jab, which I'm half expecting they do, then I think that fight heavily favours Jacoby. Like, he has a 4-inch reach advantage over Stewart. I think he has a better jab, and if he can get his leg kicks going, I feel like that could impact Stewart's jab and Stewart's footwork, which are basically his two key competencies. So take that away, doesn't have too much. I wouldn't be surprised at a clinch heavy game plan here from Darren Stewart. Like, considering his job's likely on the line, generally fighters that have their job on the line go for that grappling heavy game plan, because it's seen as a kind of a safer approach, and also you know, if they feel like they even have a slight advantage, they'll go to it. Like, even fighters that aren't typically known as grapplers, they will go to it. Like Maki Patolo a couple months ago, like, was a key example for me. But Jacoby, he has shown good anti-grappling in his second UFC tenure so far. Not so much in his first, but in his second UFC tenure. But, you know, the path to victory for Darren Stewart, I feel, is to just, like, hold him against the fence. And I don't think that's a very reliable path to victory, honestly. I think it's going to be a fairly competitive fight, but I do have Jacoby edging all the rounds for a 30-27. Alright, so if you guys could like the video, that'd be great. Cheers. So, prediction is Jacoby by decision. The money line's a bit too steep for me. You know, Jacoby's not that guy that's going to just completely dominate from the opening bell. He's going to make me feel a little bit crap about the bet early on, probably. But he does pick it up as the fight goes on. He's more of an accumulated damage type fighter, so he'll probably make you feel comfortable about betting him at this price, like later on in the fight. But early on, I'm just gonna have a sick feeling about it. But yeah, he's probably gonna win. Like, I think the line is correct, pretty much. But I just don't want to pay that price for Jacoby, just with his style and stuff. And judges really don't know how to score leg kicks unless the opponent is like really selling it or really reacting to the leg kicks. Like, judges just don't know how to score leg kicks, even if, you know, it is kind of doing damage, but the opponent's putting on a good poker face. Judges don't really notice it that much. Maybe a live bet on Jacoby. He's kind of a slow starter and he's more of an accumulation guy. Probably will take over as the fight goes on. Fight goes the distance, I like. You know, both have very good chins, and I think they have combined 2 submission wins in 41 fights. So don't think there's a very big chance of a finish here. Honestly, I think that would be, I wouldn't expect a finish in this fight. So I think $1.74 minus 135. I think that's value for sure. I cap it at like 65 to 70% for going the distance. So that's probably what I'll bet in this fight, unless I get a good live line on Jacoby.